So I just want to say welcome to all those that have gathered here today. I first want to say thank you to all the delegates that have shown up from all different parts of the world. And many of you are making big sacrifice because it's like 1, 2, 3 in the morning where you are, and still you're here on this call to hold this moment with us. I want to give great thanks for all of you in the audience. I'm sorry we can't see your beautiful faces. I know that you can see ours, so it's a moment for us because we can't relate to you or connect with you in that way. I want to open up first of all by introducing myself. I'm Jyoti. I'm a grandmother and a mother and a sister and an auntie. I'm a woman of heart. And I'm really humbled that Creator's put me in this place this morning to open up this prayer. All of us have been called by the Mother Earth herself to stand here now in this moment, whether we're on this camera with you, speaking to you, or whether you're there to receive what she's going to be seeding in you through this next couple of hours. It's a big moment too of really modeling patience and compassion and tolerance. I'd ask you to take your expectations and park them at the door. You can pick them up later if you must. But now we're in the hands of the mystery, and we made lots of plans. We laid down everything in the best possible way with good thought and prayer so that we could be this way together this morning. But many of our elders have never been on Zoom. And some of them are out in very far places where their Wi-Fi's may come and go. So they may pop on or off. We're praying to the sacred technology gods that they might strengthen this web so that we can pour this prayer into the web of life for our Mother Earth and the work that she's pulling us to. So be patient, please. And let us open up the door of possibility with our key of tolerance and love. This is my prayer. I want to take just a moment too and take care of some organizational things, because at the end of the prayer, I would really like for you and all of us to go and sit and be with whatever came that we received today, that we shared today, so that a full field of reciprocity is really what is the foundation of this prayer. We are going to have more of these kinds of calls. And I'm going to tell you more in just a minute about the story that brought us to you today. These kind of calls resulted out of that story. And on May 2nd, there'll be another call. We'll probably have less delegates on so that they can have longer times to express themselves and bring their message, and to have more dialogue with you, because that's important to us too. We are living in unprecedented times, they're calling it. But in my world of 72 years, I've been walking with my elders, and they've been helping me remember. And they've been helping guide my steps and my community step that lives around this planet in many places, so that we might learn how to listen to the creation of this earth and to that which is pulling us forward into life itself. So we're going to record these calls, and if you haven't signed up with your emails, you need to go to centerforsacredstudies.org or thefountain.earth, and you can put your emails there so we can connect with you when next calls come out. So this is what at least is in the planning stages right now. But you never know. The mystery stirs and changes, and we have to learn how to be flexible and move like the wind when it does so. We also wanted this to be bilingual, and we have got a team of people that are trying in a timely way to try to get what is recording on the YouTube channel translated into Spanish, so that we can have more than one language come to you that way as well. Again, I ask your patience because there's a very few of us that are having to organize these kinds of things, and we're drawing deep into the well of all the different expertise that sits at the table. Yeah, so now I want to take a moment and just tell you what brought us here. And before I do that, I want to take a moment and honor our children and our grandchildren, because truly that is what is the fuel driving my life, so that they might be able to walk in this creation and enjoy its amazing presence of itself every single day. That's my hope and prayer. It's what is the fire inside this belly. So last September, a delegation of 27 of us met in London. We were brought together in a summit called the Flourishing Diversity Summit. It was going to be for 3 days. Joining these 27 delegates were about another 250 people that were the organizers and organizations and people that really wanted to know what the Mother Earth was going to instruct us to do in response to climate change. That's why we went. On the third morning of that summit, we were brought the message that 2.5 tons of radioactive materials were poured into the oceans from Fukushima, and that more fires had been set in the Amazon. And it was an amazing moment that I will never forget, because it was like the Mother herself threw this bolt of lightning down inside this group of people. And we all united as Arena Rose went into a traditional Maori call to action. It unified all nations in that moment, and it brought instruction that we needed to step away from those that we've been trying to speak to that were not listening, and we're not putting things in motion to sustain life here. And that it was time now for us to step into Mother Earth's nation, realign with her and listen to her instruction, and listen to the prophecies and the instruction that our first peoples have that will help us walk through these times. We were to declare our sovereignty, and we were to restore the original caretaker roles of the original peoples across this globe. Those were her first instruction. So we met some all during the day, trying to see what this delegation needed to do in response to that call to action. At the end of the day, because we were dispersing and going all back to our home countries and our communities, the delegation asked if Loretta, Afraid of Bear Cook, myself, and Arena Rose would continue to walk this forward. Arena got some more messages. She was told that we needed to meet first in Stockholm, and we were to meet there with those of the delegation that wanted to participate and come forward. And we were to call in the leaders of the cold countries of the north. And we would sit in private consultation there, and we would listen to her instruction to see how to collaborate, how to resource, what needed to happen in a timely action with the directions Mother Earth gave us. That's all we knew. The next part of her instruction was that after that, we would then go to New Zealand, because it was the spirit of this land that was pulling us together. And it activated something in all of us, something I believe we've waited lifetimes to light up for. And there we would call in the leaders of the South, of the warm countries. And the delegation would start to grow itself. She's weaving something. It's a mystery to me. I just want to stay present in the moment and follow its instruction as it's given. In the end, she said that we would then need to go to North America, into New York, and stand with the line of the eagle condor prophecy, that then the delegation will have formed something and we would be knocking on a door. That's all we knew. So we went and got very busy, a team of us, and I must give great thanks for them because they've been working 24/7. We had just a few months to bring this delegation together. And what was remarkable was that as it began to come together, we started to get messages and emails and phone calls from some other elders that had said, I need to come and sit at the table there in the delegation. Some of them even canceled other events because this direction was coming so strongly. And this is how the 45 delegates that were to arrive in Stockholm came to be. We had all the tickets bought. We had everything organized. And I give great thanks to Ulrich John and the Radisson Hotel, who was going to receive us, make us all comfortable so that we could have this private moment together to make relations with each other and to sit and share why we thought we had been brought there, what that message, that force that was coming to show us and present us. And so then everybody knows the coronavirus came upon the planet and it started to move across this planet. I had to reflect that last year it was all the mother elements that was moving us through a purification process. The earth, the fire, the air, the water. And now as we were moving into 2020, which they say is a pivotal point for all of this, now through the air was coming something, another level of purification process was upon us. So all travel was banned. And out of that, the instruction was to create this online delegation gathering for Mother Earth. And we had about 2 weeks in order to move this and organize it the way that we have. So that's how we got here. And it's kind of a miracle to me that it has taken shape the way that it is. And I'm very humbled by it. But what I do know is that we're all sitting at the same table. We have all come with a gift in our hearts that Creator put there when we put our skin on. And if we can be patient with one another, and if we can heal with one another, then we will be able to hear more clearly what unity looks like, and we can be the peace we've been praying for. So with that in mind, I just want to offer a prayer as we open to our Sami elders and relatives. Creator, this is Jyoti. I'm but a simple grandmother here with a heart that's on fire for you. I ask the helpers and the spirits of the four directions, of those above us and below us, those that live and work through us, Star Nation, all the ancestors that are gathered around this prayer today, to hold us so that we can catch all of the inspiration that you might pour into this simple cup. And that this simple cup then can go out and spread itself and be good medicine for these times. Because some people are scared and confused, Creator. Some people aren't sure what to do. This is a moment when we can come back and sit in our hearts instead of our heads. So help us find our way back there so we can catch the seed of our remembering and water it well. Then we can stand up together and we can move in unison for and with this Mother Earth, for she has a plan that will take us home to ourselves. Of that you have shown me, and I am so grateful. I ask you, Creator, to be tolerant with us and patient as you are always, as we're remembering and waking up at different times and different levels. So today, as our elders come to speak, to pray in their own language, to say what they have caught that will help us know how to walk through these times. Help us be open to catch it. Help us be still in ourselves so we can nurture it. I want to give great thanks to the first responders that are out across this planet, in our hospitals, in our grocery stores, in our pharmacies, in our streets, in our old folks' homes, in all the many places that you have them. Keep them safe, Creator. And for those that you're calling home through this great purification, carry them gently to you, please. For they've decided it's time for them to stand on the other side of the veil and collaborate with those that are still here so that this prayer can stay strong and the line to our original selves can stay unbroken. I give great thanks, Creator. I give great thanks. I give great thanks. Ahu. Now I have the great privilege to open up to our Sami relatives there that are in Sweden. They were bringing representatives from Finland and Norway and possibly Russia into this. Some of them were helping our community set a sacred fire this morning, a fire that on the third day of our fire, because many of you have been in ceremony and lighting your fires we committed to these 4 days from the 26th to the 29th. And this is our third day, the day of healing, that we lit a fire there in Stockholm where we will meet eventually to unify all our fire lines across this planet. So I want to introduce Elin, Teilus, and Erika, Unnes, and Sara, Ájnnak. And I want to turn it over to you now so that you might welcome us into your territory, even though it's virtually. Thank you, Elin.
So, Boris Boate, welcome. And we bring with us the lands of Sápmi, the mountains, the mares, the land of the reindeer, and all our sisters and brothers. So it's an honor to be in this company and to be gathered like this in the circle. So my name is Elin and I'm a daughter of Ucha, which is in the heart of Sápmi. And I will joik, it's called Ailisle Etna. And that means that the earth is sacred and so are all living things. Ailisle Etna, Ailisle Ayali Samia Helema Ailisle Ailisle Pievie Ayali Samia Helema Ayalisa Yutusa Ayalisa Hulmocha Ayalisa Mia Yelema Ailisle Botso Ailisle Varie Ayalisa Mia Yelema Ailisle Ija Ailisle Pievie Ayalisa Mia Yelema Inu So, and with us, of course, are all that has gone before us, all our foremothers and forefathers, and also the children and the children to come, as I believe we all gathered here for. And today we lit the fire, and in the elderly days in my home village, when they were coming home from the rain herding, sometimes they lit this fire on the other side of the lake, on the mountain, other side of Uchachavelk. And that was a way of saying, we are coming home. And I believe that this is a time of homecoming, and that these fires that are lit will guide the way as we keep on listening to Mother's heart and to her, the beating heart of her. And within the Sami, it said that the world was made of a little reindeer, a female reindeer. And the most beautiful and precious thing of the reindeer is in the middle of the earth. And that is the heart of the reindeer beating. And she's beating for us. And I believe it's time to listen to that heartbeat. No, it's beating within us. So I pray that we listen deeply to the heart of Mother Earth, that we listen deeply to the children and to life. And this is a prayer of trust and faith that we are so, so loved and held within all these difficult times. Ailisle etnam, Ailisle almje, Ailisa mia hielema, Gito. Thank you.
Erika?
Yes. Dear Mother Earth, dear Spirit, dear delegates and participants, I feel humbled to be a part of this call to action and to this online conference tonight. And I'm honored to welcome you to my home, to my homeland, Sápmi, lands that spans over 4 countries, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. Myself, I live today in the South Sami area. It's in the middle of Sweden, on one part. And I'm a soul, I'm a human, I'm a mother and a woman, and I'm also a daughter. I'm a daughter of Luisah, exactly like Elin. And it's lands of deep forests, a lot of mosquitoes, as well as golden marshes. And I want to share today because I think during this time, it's so important to listen. And that's exactly what I'm doing myself with my everyday life. I practice the art of listening. And I don't say it's always easy, but I'm practicing it, and I have a very need for going out in the forest and to stay close to the trees. And I think during this crisis that goes through the world, there are many people who really needs to and can take advantage of this new tempo in society. In some parts it's much faster and much more to do, but in other areas space and time is opened up for us to stay more together and to ask ourselves what is important for me, and also to see each other because I think we sometimes forget that. So I want to address this prayer to all of us, to open up our heart and to listen to Mother Earth, her will, and to also trust in her, because you can always ask for her to be there, and she is always there for us. And I want to wish everyone who feel this insecurity or being scared of today to just ask for help, because we are never alone. We have our ancestors with us. We have spirits and guides always there helping us. And that's my prayer in this moment of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Erika. Is Sara going to speak now, or she will offer at the end? Is that correct?
At the end.
Okay. So thank you for welcoming us into your homeland and for your beautiful prayers and song. And my sister Loretta was supposed to go next, but Luisah Teish, my sister Luisah, is about to open ceremony for many, many people. And so if it's okay, I'm going to let her go first so that she won't be in a hard place with getting to her ceremony after this. And Luisah, I thank you. I know that you're in your healing process yourself. And so it's a big thing for you to be able to be with us today and to still continue, as all of the delegates do here, continuing to go forward and helping the people stay in ceremony, stay in prayer, and stay in sacred thought. Luisah, Grandma Luisah. Yeah.
I wish to begin by saying Alafia. When I say Alafia, it is a prayer asking that you have good health and be at peace with your neighbor. I will do the opening prayer in Yoruba and then translate it roughly into English so that our translator does not have a problem. But I have a message for us today. Ibashe olofi olorunolo dumare. Ibashe orunmila. Ibashe obatala. Ibashe odudu wa won ya mi olokiki eru. Ibashe okanle lukba irumle owo si. Ibashe okanle lukba irumle owo tun. Woni ti omode yu baba ba ya re ise ni latiya o. Ibashe kibashe. Ibashe kibashe. Ibashe kibashe. I'm calling upon the powers of the heavens, of the sun, of the clouds, of the wisdom of the wise ones, of all the powers of the earth to come and be with us here today as we do this group prayer. I ask that the spirits who stand on the left be with us, that the spirits who stand on the right be with us, that the elder women society be with us, that the elder men society be with us. Let all of these things come together in our presence today to empower us with the wisdom of the ancestors, to empower us with the wisdom of the deities, to empower us with the wisdom of our own consciousness. I am very grateful to be a member of this delegation representing the people of the African diaspora. I am a Yoruba priestess and a woman chief in my tradition. We perform divination every year to find out what is going on in the world and how we must conduct ourselves. I say to you three things with great confidence. Item number one, the COVID-19 virus is important, but it is not the end of the human race. It is not the end of the human race. It is not the end of the human race. We must not panic, but we must hear clearly what Mother Earth and especially Mother Ocean is telling us. This is occurring because it is a time of purification. This is occurring because the changes that she has been trying to impel us to make now have to be forced. It is a time to now respect the earth. It is a time to clean up the mess. especially the mess in the ocean. It is a time when we must recognize that we are all relatives. It is a time when the wealth of the earth has to be redistributed. It is a time, especially this message came through. It is a time when the voice of the mothers, the voice of the women must be heard very clearly. And to the women, to the mothers of the earth, a very clear message came through that we are to practice wisdom, courage, and compassion. Wisdom, courage, and compassion. Wisdom, courage, and compassion. We must discipline ourselves almost to a military discipline. There can be no petty bickering. There can be no division. It is our job, the women, to speak clearly what Mother Earth is saying through us and to us. And those who can hear must take action courageously to bring about the change that will help us to help Mother Earth and therefore help ourselves. Please, people in this delegation, have no fear about what we are doing. This is the directive that comes from the ancestors. At this point, I would like to perform a chant that would be easy for you to use in the future. And it is a chant asking all of the deities to assist us with correcting things on the earth. We are asking that the deities bless us in our attempts to correct what has been going on in the earth. So we ask them to give us good fortune. The word is simply funire ida, funire ida, bring good fortune to the earth. And it goes like this. Funire ida elegba, funire ida, funire ida olorum, funire ida, funire ida olofi, funire ida, funire ida o batala, funire ida, funire ida o duduwa, funire ida, funire ida o lokum, funire ida, funire ida yemaya, funire ida, funire ida ogun, funire ida, funire ida osayin, funire ida, funire ida oko, funire ida, funire ida Shango, funire ida, funire ida Yansa, funire ida, funire ida Oshun, funire ida, funire ida Aye, funire ida, funire ida Iyami, funire ida, funire ida Iworo, funire ida. I have gone through the litany of deities, asking each of them to send us balance, send us wisdom, send us courage, send us compassion to be able to understand and to do the right thing. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Thank you, Luisah, and thank you for connecting this prayer and the ceremony you're about to open.
Ashe.
Now my sister Loretta, Afraid of Bear Cook, Oglala Sioux, is coming with a message and a prayer.
If it's okay, mitaki ipi, wichasha gniets kokeawaat la kaboyaki ipi. Milo.
Yushkana pechuzo. En Lenape tuki atoke ya umpi nivela chante washte ya unkta chance hochi chaplo. I'm always reminded at this time about an event that happened to one of our medicine people in the Black Hills. The Black Hills are the center of everything that is, as we come to know it in Lakota ideology. And it was a time when, after there was the massacre at Wounded Knee, when everything was killed, maimed, and destroyed, and people froze in the snow. He thought at that time that the hoop, the sacred hoop that binds all of us, was shattered and broken. But one time he asked his friend to take him to the top of the mountain, Ihankara, a place where they make the owl dreamers. He came there and he prayed for a sign that says to give hope. And it was this time that a little rain came while he was praying. And it was this rain that nourished the soul of the Lakota people, wiped its tears, and planted the seed for the rejuvenation of our nations around the world. So it is this time that I'm always thinking about this time. The idea is that we have been through hard times as all indigenous peoples or people who love this earth have seen, experienced, and carry that hurt in their hearts. So it's always this that I'm always reminded about this. All over the world, all the beautiful people, all the different flowers of the world. It is this beautiful life that we have to always keep in front of us, because it's something that we owe our future generations as they grow up to come to understand, to see the experiences that we have as a Lakota people, but not only ourselves, but people from all over the world. So it's with this in mind that I was happy to be part of this manifestation, this rejuvenation, reassuring, and to let people know that we are still here. We are here because our prayers brought us here. Now it's up to us to teach the world how to pray. So it's at this time that I want people during the solstice time that is coming to go on a 4-day fast. We can do this. Call it a prayer in place. A prayer where we are all located. A prayer that you can ask your friends to be a part of. A prayer that will focus us as people who are carrying a message. People who have special dreams, special visions, can walk forward into the future. This is our hope, but we have to do this in solidarity. And the only way we can do that is pay attention to the moon cycle. It is my hope that we are going to do this. So I'm calling on all of you for a 4-day fast at your sacred place during the solstice time. And always remember this. O ma ki ya yo. O Makiyayo. Oh, Makiyayo, yo, hey, oh, Makiyayo, yo, hey, oh, Makiyayo, yo, hey, oh, Makiyayo, yo, hey. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Mother Earth is listening. All my relations.
Oh, Randy, Mishahakala.
Hello. Can everybody hear me?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
ja. Ja, petuki ja wopila hecha trokahe. Lela charge mi troki hel oich beapina. Oyate ki obu wakala kingtecha. Chi holaka hata unchi makaki. Na tunkashi la yampiki. Hohina eche trokahun kapikte. So I'm deeply humbled and I'm grateful to be here to speak some few words. And first of all, I would like to say that Mother Earth is the one that guides us and teaches us to the Creator. So that is why we always have to go back to Mother Earth, from the ground that we were born from, and that the Creator is our Father, the Father of all things. So He teaches us through Mother Earth to live a better life. So with that, I'd like to say a prayer. Tunkashila, Atewa Kantranka, Tatuya Tupa, Holan Petuki, Hoyiche. Hoyichele Oyateya, Makochelaka o Uyepe, Miniakotaha, Holina, Tokaya Bocheki Wichokjake, Okujewa, Hihuni, na Woni Hiche, Cha Oichake Tunkashila, Hoheche Wobbles a picte, na Iushka Tokateka, Amania picte. Chaheon to che hoyi che tunkashila. Chalina oyateki anahoptankam na echapatraya. Na botita kina tiwaheki. He hoyi che tunkashila. Ha ho heche duela. Wopila hecha. Thank you.
Aye. Go ahead, sister. You can go on.
You want to wait and speak later, Loretta?
I'll talk toward the end.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So that brings us to Shawna, Bluestar, Newcomb, Shawnee, Lenape. Welcome, Shawna. Please introduce yourself, your prayer, whatever else you want to bring today. Margine, you need to unmute Shawna.
Yeah, I have to unmute her.
Did we lose her?
She's still here.
So this is one of those moments the Creator was weaving in to teach us about patience. So we can just recenter ourselves. And every time this comes through, this energy, this wave like this, in our community, we touch our hearts. So we'll remember to update ourselves and come back to the heart of ourselves. So update.
Your mic is open.
Is it for me?
Yes, Shawna.
Okay, sorry. My computer dropped off for a moment, but I'm glad to be here. So glad to be here with each and everybody here, and very humbled and grateful and honored to see all of the delegates here today and hear your beautiful prayers. It means a lot to my heart and brings a lot of emotion in a good way. So sorry. I'm very proud to be Shawnee, Lenape, and Azteca. I'm proud to be from Turtle Island, North America. My name is Shawna Bluestar Newcomb. And I'm proud to be the daughter of Stephen Newcomb and my mom, Alicia. It's a great honor, as I said, to be here with each of you and to be here in this time of prayer for everybody that is here with us and those that may come to this circle in the future. I just want to acknowledge the original peoples of our lands, our indigenous ancestors, and our free and independent existence from time immemorial. I offer this prayer in my traditional Lenape language. Kuhana Gushedamiing Wanishi Piok Indikeshok Pechio Hekamakana Yushienta Witakamika Milinen Wilamasawakan Wilatanamawakan Milinen Wiltektamakan Ichi Kaski Ikalichi Pechi Petausanan Yushienta Witakamika Nanelekesh. Creator, Great Spirit, we give thanks for all of the good things that you give to us. We give thanks for the waters and the sun shining upon us on this earth. We ask that you give us good health and a good road to walk upon so that we may live a longer life upon this earth. We ask for blessings for the waters, and we remember that water is life for everyone. We give blessings to our precious planet, our Mother Earth, Pachamama Gaia. We give blessings to all of the peoples of this earth, that we may find compassion in our hearts and love, and come together in the spirit of deep healing for our beloved planet and future generations. Wanishi, thank you. And I just have a short message to share on this little bit of time that we have. Many of us have been called to this path, and as a young person, it was not easy for me. I didn't understand, and there are many on this call that may have similar experiences where it feels very humbling. It feels very big, and the energy is just coming through in a big way right now. And it's not a time to be scared. It's a time to celebrate and to honor this path. And we're in the time of the great shift, as my messages that have come to me. Some people call it the great turning. We're in a time of deep awakening to move to a spiritual way that has been lost, but it's not forgotten. And I'm grateful for all of the delegates here to help us remember and guide us to come back into our hearts with compassion and remember the ways of our peoples. And that's the way of the future that I see the path for all of us. All of humanity is coming to this great awakening at this time. And my prayers go out to any and all people suffering from the virus. The prayers go out to all of you to understand that this is a time for all of us to know that the shadow is coming to the light in order to be healed. And that was true before this virus came to be. It's a time of the sacred feminine coming back, and women are stepping into authentic power, and men are coming back into their hearts. And it's beautiful to see. And I just want us to remember to keep listening to our ancestors and remember to walk in prayer, to acknowledge and be with one another in our hearts and see each other as sacred beings, and just honor each other with love. And I see that that is going to bring us a very big and beautiful future, bright future for all peoples. Thank you, Wanishi.
Thank you, Shawna. So Kurakindi comes from Ecuador, from the Sami Kasai. Would you share with us some of your wisdom?
Hola con todos. Para mí es un honor ser parte de este círculo donde puedo escuchar a mis colegas con palabras muy sabias y músicas que realmente llenan el corazón. Viviendo en la Amazonía, nos consideramos protectores de la madre tierra, del Suma Causay y guardianes de la Amazonía. Hoy en día el Suma Causay, que quiere decir el buen vivir de la humanidad, se encuentra amenazada en muchos aspectos y por muchas enfermedades, y especialmente el coronavirus. Como protector de la madre tierra, del Causa y Sacha y guardián de la Amazonía, quiero hacer un rezo pidiéndole al Creador y a la madre tierra por la armonía del Suma Causay. Lo voy a hacer en mi lengua. Humildemente les pido también a los oyentes que abran sus corazones para recibir el Suma Causay. Hatun apu alinishka migangi kai pachay hawa pachay was. Ñuka shunbu kumanda mi kanda tapuni kamba Suma Causayta. Tukuy kay allpapi kawsakunata kupay. Chasallata ñukanchi mana alli rashkata, ñukanchi mana alli yuyarishkata, ñukachita kichki hatun apu. Ashka pagrachu Pachamama, kamballpaymi wasisha, tarpusha kawsanchi. Tukuy ñuka llakishka shunguwami, kanda mañani, kamba Suma Causayta ñukanchita tigrachi. Suma Causay mungami, ay 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 ay, ay ay ay, ay 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 ay, ay ay ay, ay 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 ay, ay ay ay. Runa Causay mungami, ay 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ashkata mikanta pagrachunchi hatun apu ñukanchita kuy Suma Causayta. Kanda was pagrachuni Pachamama Suma Causayta ñukanchita kuy. Ñukanchi wawakunata, ñukanchi malta runakunata, ñukanchi uruku runakunata. Suma Causayta ñukanchi ministinchi. Kamballpay wasisha tarpusha kawsangawa. Tukuy ñuka shunguwami. Tukuy runaguna mi kanta ministinchi. Suma Causay ñukanchima shamuy. Suma kau say cha bung kami ayay ay 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 ay. Acho que apagar.
Kendi, did you want Eleanor to translate any of that?
Oh, yes, please.
In today's world, the Sumaikawstai, that means for us the way of the good living, the righteous living of humanity, is facing a critical point, specifically now when we address the coronavirus pandemic. As a protector of the Sumaikawstai, of the righteous way of living, and a guardian of the Amazon, I want to offer a prayer in my language, asking Creator and Pachamama for the harmony of the Sumaikawstai. Humbly, I ask you to listen, that you may close your eyes and open your heart, so you can receive the harmony of this righteous way of living.
Thank you. Thank you, Kendi. So I need to check to see if Hunwi joined our call. Jinky could not be with us, our delegate, our Aboriginal from Australia. And she was going to bring Jinky's message.
Yes, Jyoti. Can you hear me?
Oh, Jinky, you made it.
No, it's actually Hunwi, but I'm using Link. It's been a bit.
I can hear you, but not see you too good, sister.
That's because it's 5:30 in the morning here.
Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to sit with the candle lights. Can you see the candle light on the altar?
I'll
turn the light on. I'm in actually a quiet household, so
okay.
The sun's just about to rise. We're ahead of all of you. It's Sunday morning here, so I'm sharing from the dark place. But let me find a light. Okay, can you see any better now?
We can.
So, greetings and blessings, everyone, with much gratitude and love.
Wait, move your camera up a little bit. There you go.
All these alliances, I strength and prayers to all those suffering, and I want to honour all our alliances. And thank you so much, Jyoti and Loretta, for making this happen. And I'll share what Jinky, she's going through a major healing now. They're all in lockdown in their communities. And she's had, encounters with police and health people because her grandfather is not well at the moment. And so we're trying to stop the bad behaviour on the planet, basically. And I give thanks to being born in this ancient land and being adopted into some of the most amazing, one of the oldest cultures amongst us. And this message is coming from the Seven Sisters Songline, which is the 13 grandmother star skin law of creation. So the mother's law and the ancient grandmothers that came from the Pleiadian star system. So our songline runs from east to west, from sunrise to sunset across the country. So I'll just read Jinky's message. Sorry, I wasn't aware of the timing here, but anyway, here we go. I just would like to share my journey of healing, of self-empowerment from my higher self. This is from Jinky. Nainila, I remember, I know, It's time to remember the Commonwealth Treaty of Humanity, lest we forget. We recognise that we have a treaty with each other. Every one of us has a common value shared here on Mother Earth Star, Bura, the ground. Life is light, light is love. The lamps stand for life, love life, live and light up. Stand strong ancient trees, life is good and life is free. We like to share and care for each other. We all know we are all equal. Remember the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, lest we forget. We entered the League of Nations on equal footings to stop the bankers from taking over the world in World War II. Remember the Peace Treaty of 1956, peace I leave you. Remember who you are now. You're a shining earth star. The Ancient One asks all of us to dance and sing up the rain. We have to heal the poison, the virus in roots of our family tree to end the tragic cycle of history. Flush it out of our immune system through the cellular membrane, cleanse the pain inside, put the ghosts of history to rest. There's the rooster. When we believe in ourselves and free ourselves from mental slavery, the program of our pain, body, suffering and separation story, distractions and the busy world of commerce, then our DNA and immune system will begin to repair itself. We are the gold. The land is the gold and gold is the healing. Metal, that's our purpose in this holy place in the golden age. Let's raise our vibration to the highest frequency we can. I am a sweet sound and the universe. We sang one song together and creation was born out of dark matter. Only dark matter can solve matter. Die to our old selves. We can wake up new with a new story, a new song and a new dance. A brand new day. At the moment she's preparing mulberry leaves and tulsi and other ancient herbs like ashwagandha, which will bring hydration and full remedy to the cells. This is for her grandfather as well, who's sick. Mulberry trees growing right there in front of Westminster Abbey. So the mulberry tree goes all over the earth. I am no more my pain, body, suffering, separation story. I am light, I am love, and I will be loved because I'm going to give everyone my love. The Ancient One says, sing them up, sing up the rain. New life needs the rain. We need to plant the new seeds of ourselves in the ground. No more fires are needed, just the sweet rains. Our greening of the sacred circle of Gondwana land begins. We look above, not below. Thank you for listening. So with that, I hand over Dinky's message from her present time in this epidemic, which I am totally encouraging people to be kind and remember to laugh and enjoy life and don't buy into the fear and don't buy into the frequency of doubt. When our mind gets upset, that's when the fear can come in, when it gets disabled. So practice your meditations, fast, do all those things. That's what we're doing here. So blessings to the world in this beautiful circle of beautiful, beautiful beings. And Nainila and Kujara Kujara, we are all one. I'll quickly sing a little song from Dinky, which is calling all the fractured parts of the self back into oneness, back into the heart. Kujara, Kujara, Inja Kujara, Yahi Kujara, Kujara, hey, hey, Kujara, Kujara, Inja Kujara, Yahi Kujara, Kujara, hey, hey, Mijara Jara, Ranji Puru, Raguja, Mi jara jara ranji puru raguja. That's just calling everyone into oneness, into the one heart, and stand up, rise up, get up, and get on with it. Be peace, be love, be happy, be strong, and help each other. Mabu mabu. From our 7 sisters dreaming and the 13 grandmother star skin laws of creation. Much love.
Thank you, Honui.
Thank you, Jo.
Oh, Jambe, this is another of our brothers from Aboriginal from Australia. We welcome you and your message.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm here sitting in what we understand is the first light country. So this area follows the track of the sun from east to west. And we have a lot of background noise. So yeah, my name's Jambi. I'm from Gidabal and Narakal people, Northern Rivers, New South Wales. My understanding of this time is it's time for us all to sit quiet and listen, feel, while this other business goes on, and we can pay attention closely to our connection to the earth, and to the fire, to the air, to the water, and just to remember one thing I think is most important is no matter what's going on or who's pointing fingers at who, whatever, whether we look at Trump or we look at China or we look at Gates or all that sort of stuff. I think too many of our people, our brothers and sisters, and everyone around us, and the virus itself, we're all getting caught up in the story instead of not giving enough attention to the fact that all of that is controlled by spirit. If we allow ourselves to tune in to that depth, to our deeper connection to the elements, we'll be seeing things a lot more clearer. We'll have a lot more understanding, a lot more comfort as we go through these shifts. Myself and a lot of us have been through some really, really big internal shifting and having to reconfigure our connection to the mother herself, tune in deeper. Some of us are already there. Some of us are nowhere near it yet. And I feel that just that basic realization that we're all spirit dancing, we're all notes in the same song, we're all going through what we're going through. The only thing we don't know is where we're going, and that'll be shown soon enough. But we know who our allies are and who they aren't. We know that the animals, the elements, remembering our cultures, like, and understanding that at the heart of all culture is how do we live within spirit? How do we live in this place? How do we live with each other? The reason for the culture is to explain those things. We can find that. Everybody can find that. We all have that ability. But first and foremost, who are ourselves? Who are we? Who am I? Just remembering those basic principles. Who am I? Where am I? Who am I with? And let the land, let the mother, let the spirit, let the animals, let the people show us who they are. And be present. We've got I think all Indigenous people will have a different word for it, but we have a word here, an understanding called diddery, which is comes from up north here. And it's about quiet contemplation, deep, still listening, awareness. And I feel that helps us connect with the earth in the best way, in the fastest way, in the most strongest way. Constantly, all day, all night, at any given moment. And I think going through this time, with everything that's been thrown into the mix, for myself, that's the most important thing right now. But not just being that for myself, but being that for the people around me, letting everyone see, no matter where they are on the level of connection, letting everyone feel that coming from each of us, that connection, that deep connection. We've all done a hell of a lot of talking. We've all protested. We've all stood up and danced. A lot of people are going to be looking for answers. No matter which way everything goes, when it all falls, the easiest way to explain to them, to everybody, is going to be through our feeling, through our heart. I feel. So I don't know how the time's going, but I might just play a little bit on the Erika. But when I do, I'll be putting the energy in here. Now, this being the main ley line, runs the Yalgan line, the sun line, runs around the earth, and it should hit everybody. So if you just want to take a moment to drop in, feel your connection to the earth. No matter where the sun is, where your land is right now. Let yourself feel it.
For your offering. Thank you. So, Grandmother Ivy Smith of the Aotearoa of the Polynesia peoples, we welcome you and your offering.
Thank you, Grandma. Tēnā koe from Aotearoa, also known as New Zealand, the land of the long white cloud. Talofa lava from Samoa. Nisen Bolavanaka from Fiji. And Yahweh from the people here, the Aboriginal people. I want to pay respects to the ancestors from here, past, present and future, because this is where my children and grandchildren have found their place, home away from home. I also want to acknowledge the Creator, Father Sky, Tani Mahuta, from where we came, that placed us down here on Papatūānuku, Mother Earth, where we have been supported and held within her womb. And then Tangaroa, the water of life. Without the water of life within the feminine's belly, the womb, we wouldn't be able to give life. So this brings us to gratitude, respect and acknowledgement of everything that gives us life. I want to start with the prayer and language from home before I speak, to ground our people, to send it across the waters to everyone today. E te riki e whakamoe me te ana mātou, ki a koe mana manakitanga. E ho mai ki koe mātou, manaki te tonu mātou. E roti e mātou mahi ka koe hope te mātariki mua ki ake. Amen. It's a privilege to be here today, and thank you, Grandma, Joti, for your trust, your support, and everyone here that has taken time for this important prayer. Like a few of us on here, I'm quite emotional because I'm still sitting with a flock of eagles running through my body through spirit from the universal purification prayer that I held yesterday that got sent from a home here to the homes of the world. We started early in the morning and went through the afternoon, and it finished late at night. And I haven't slept. The messages are still coming in fast. This came through a prayer when we were going through this time recently. They gave me the word from above for down below of the word reset and rebirth and reconnection. They asked me to find someone that would welcome a purification prayer to put awareness and education out to the world for what's happening now. To remind us of what our ancestors used back when they were unwell, or influences of foreign energies came in that made us unwell. Water, fire, Mother Earth, sacred ancestors that still lie amongst us within the rocks, within nature. When we have a look at when we are safe and warm, we're wrapped up in blankets. And when we go back to a place that everyone needs to go back to now, within this energy that's causing fear, disconnection, where we've been hijacked by words without facts. And I want to send blessings to all those people that have been affected individually and for the families. We must not forget them and send them prayer. But bringing back to the prayer that Spirit asked me to lead was to remember, what did we used to do? And not to forget, when we were birthing our babies, we used to boil water. What did we use to clean wounds and sterilize? Fire. And so through this purification prayer that many of us have used that word, we were able to sit on Mother Earth, use Grandfather Fire and the Spirit, connected with sacred ancestors, the rocks, and we used water with the heat while we were sitting in the womb, which purified us, which cleansed us. So we sent that energy with prayer and song. And yes, people might not understand, I did use the telephone and social media to send that to the world, which a telephone also has Mother Nature in it too, a quartz crystal, which wouldn't be able to work. So again, she is with us in this technology today for us to use. It was a message to the world to her reset. And through this time and change that was already pre-planned, we were blessed with many things. She's shown us through nature that is saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Without all of the pollution that some human beings have made over the years, we've gone back to a time. If we go back to World War II, before the industrial age came about, it was clean, clear. And now we have to action and take this experience of nature coming back into natural motion, of the waters being as clean as it's ever been, and the airs are showing us when we breathe in the air, it is the cleanest, and it hasn't been like this for a long time. So we have to take the blessings and work together. And they wanted us to remind each other of coming together as one language, one voice, one spirit, one people, one heart, one color. I'm going to leave with a song. The song, I'm going to talk people through it, and then I'm going to sing it to remind us in these times to be creative, to find connection in our hearts with our loved ones, to listen to the teachings of Mother Earth, nature, and Father Sky, to reach out to those people that have been walking, all of Indigenous peoples throughout the world that have been walking, teaching, sharing, to stand together now for the future of our children, their children, and their children. The song from Polynesia, Aotearoa, is a song that we all can relate to. It's a song of celebration. For me, and what has been coming about is celebration. We're in a time of change, rebirth, and it's for us to role model and teach the next generation and future, our children. I'm going to walk the song through. It's a very short song so people can understand when I'm singing it what it means. It's from Samoa, my mother's homelands. It goes like this, that we're all doing now, and it brings hope and celebration at the end. Sa vali vali, we're on the walk. We are all on the walk. We need to bring people and welcome them on the same walk. Tau tala tala, too much talking. It's time for action. We have to teach and bring in our other relations so they can action with us. So in mass numbers, we can bring change. Alofa yata oi, Spirit loves us. So it's time to take it easy, whai whai le mu. She's given us the time to rest, to prepare ourselves and get us all in order for what's coming. And when you hear 1, 2, 3, I'm going to finish with Shehu. In our islands, we yell out a call of celebration. Spirit's got us. People are coming on board. We're working together. We're forgiving. We're surrendering to bring life back again. So I'll sing this and I send blessings. So, Sa vali vali, we're on our walk. Tau tala tala, too much talk. Alofa yata oi, Spirit loves you, so take it easy. Whai whai le mu, take it easy. Whai whai le mu. 1, 2, 3. Shoo! Blessings.
Oh, blessings to you, Grandma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Grandmother Flor de Mayo, from the Mayan peoples living now in the USA. And I'm thinking of your beautiful granddaughter, Kaya, this morning, who was with us in London. And I give great thanks for the message you bring us.
Beloved Creator, querido Creador, Mother, Madre, Father, Padre, Father, Corazón del cielo, Heart of the heavens, Corazón de la tierra, Heart of the earth, Abuelas, grandmothers de las 4 direcciones, of the 4 directions. Gracias. Thank you. En este día sagrado, in this sacred day, el día de Ish, the day of Ish, creador y formador, creator maker, es el momento, it's the moment in which you remind us, que nos recuerdas, that we as humans que nosotros como seres humanos caminamos en la tierra, we walk on the earth. Caminamos en el cielo, we walk in the heavens. Creador y formador, creator, maker. Aquí estamos. We're here. Caminando, walking. Como seres as beings. Celestiales y terrestriales. Celestial and terrestrial. Seres, beings. Gracias. En este día sagrado, representado on this sacred day, represented by the feline, del gato, de la montaña, the cat of the jungle. And what this means, ¿y esto qué quiere decir? Nosotros, us, los seres, the beings, que caminan en la madre tierra, that walk on the sacred earth, que caminemos en balance, that we walk in balance. Between the heavens and the earth, en medio del cielo y la tierra, en balance, in balance, con todo lo que existe, with all that there is, all existence, guiados, guided by the four sacred elements, por los cuatro elementos sagrados, abuelitas, grandmothers, of the four directions, de las cuatro direcciones, creadora y formadora, creator, maker, madre, mother. Ayúdanos, help us. En este día sagrado, beloved creator, on this sacred day, creadora, that we, que nosotros, cuando respiremos, when we take in that, we inhale the breath, the spirit of the heavens, el espíritu del cielo, we can move, podemos mover esta esencia, this essence of the heavens into our hearts, en nuestro corazón. Respirando, breathing, inhaling. The essence, la esencia de la madre tierra, of our mother earth, moviéndose así a nuestros pies, moving through our feet, coming together, juntándose en nuestro corazón, within our hearts, allowing us, dejándonos que podemos, that we, como un círculo de luz, as a circle of light, creadora, creator, podemos mover esta luz infinita, that we can move this infinite light en un círculo sagrado, in a circuit light, a circle of light, círculo sagrado, creador y formadora, creator, maker. Moviendo la luz Moving the light. Hacia las 4 direcciones, into the 4 directions. Tocando todas las aguas sagradas de la Madre Tierra. Stretching out into all of the sacred waters of the Mother Earth. Tocando todas las puntas de todas las montañas. Touching all of the tops, the tippy tops of the mountains. Mandando la luz por todas las islas de la Madre Tierra, sending the light to all of the islands of the Mother Earth. Bendecida Madre, Blessed Mother. Gracias, thank you. Gracias por esa luz, thank you for the light. Gracias por lo que es, for what you are. Querida, beloved, amor, love, de mi corazón, of my heart, creadora. Con tu velo de luz, with your veil of light, que veo en el occidental. I see it, you in the horizon, beloved creator, creadora, madre, formadora, maker, de toda la belleza que existe, of all of the beauty that exists. Corazón del cielo y el corazón de la tierra, heart of the heavens, heart of the earth. Ayúdanos. Help us. Recibiendo nuestra luz, receiving our light, this beautiful light, esta bella luz que nos estás dando, that you are giving to us. The food of life, la comida de la vida. Gracias. As we inhale, respiren la luz de la creadora y formadora. Gracias, Espíritu del aire sagrado, of the sacred wind. Thank you. The beauty that I see, la belleza que veo. La luz universal, the universal light. Nuestra esencia, our essence, con la esencia de todo de lo que está aquí en el universo, with all that is here in the universe. Gracias, Madre. Thank you, Mother.
Thank you, Grandmother Flor de Mayo. Oh, beautiful. Grandmother Casey, Camp Horinek of the Ponca people. I welcome you with your blessing, your beauty, and your way.
We've done. sacred water, I ask you to amplify our prayers, to move within us and without us, around us. Continue to give us life. Continue to pray for us. Continue to direct us. Continue to take care of us, our children, the silent nations. You that moves within the thunder. You that flow around rocks and live within them. You that are part of the sacred ceremony of every peoples everywhere. You that are the ocean and the womb and life itself. Ask for direction today. Ni kanita huzi wibdahamambli 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 ni kanita huzi wibdahamambli. As this sacred water, this breath, this Father, Son, this Mother Earth, to continue to join us in the manner in which as today. Judy Ponca Abadi Mashte Ponca. Wau Jinga. Gaha Inaha Demi. I'm a Ponca woman from Oklahoma, southern Ponca. A grandmother, a survivor, a great-granddaughter, a sister, a mother, an auntie, and all the things that are woman, I live within, and it lives within me. What has been remarkable to me, my relatives, and it's so good to be among you, is all the commonalities that I've been listening to during this period of time when the sun is moving over us, and yet it's tomorrow in another land, and I was watching the sunrise there. Thank you for sharing that with us on the other side over there. Appreciate that. The words from the north and the blessings of the Sami people who took us into their homelands. The words from the south and the islands. The words from Turtle Island. The words from Wakanda Jinga, Wakanda Khobe, Manja Khobe. The Father, Son, the Creator, the Mother Earth, Nagale, the fire, the sacred fire, all those things that have been speaking through and to and for everyone has only given me a clearer understanding of the fact that we all stand in ceremony at all times, and that there is no separation, even though this thing called self-isolation has made people feel separated from the things that they have become accustomed to, the things that they have used for entertainment, the ways that have been engendered by the society that wants to buy and sell everything, the ones that think that they are taking advantage of resources like the oil and the gas and the things that live within the earth. And that those are the very things that we call sources of life. Those that go down and cut down the trees for no reason other than to make a bigger field to grow, are now beginning to understand during this time of reflection, this time of purification, that those are times now to go back to the way that our ancestors have always lived. Those of us who grew our own gardens or who tended and the areas of the Mother Earth that we were allowed to, where we knew where the wild ones, they call them wild, lived, and that they would share of their lives so that we might live, if we lived respectfully and gave back in a circle way the things that they needed. Those with roots in the grounds that knew that if we breathed our air to them, they would grab it and breathe it in themselves and give it back to us. Those that live within the waters, the fins, understood the balance. And it's been a beautiful thing in this time of being at home. And I miss the hugs of being around all of you. I miss the vibration of your presence. So it's been a particular joy to me today to join you in prayer and to be one with you in this way, to see you visually and to recognize and feel your essence, which is not confined to the space you are, but the space that you live in and occupy through prayer around the earth. Where I live here out in the country, I've been watching out the window. I've been fortunate to see this time of regeneration after the equinox, because it's been 2 seasons since we've been together. That season of the last equinox, where we are in a position of harvesting, of abundance, of getting ourselves prepared for the winter in its natural flow, to be around to where the solstice is in that time of where I live anyway, the time of the shortest day and the longest night, where in our way, it's our time to go inside, to storytell with our children and grandchildren, all of the ancestors' stories, all of the creative ways that the future might bring us. And here we are at this next equinox, and in the Ponca way, the new moon closest to the equinox in the springtime is the new year. That's the way we begin our new year. And that would have been the time that my granddaughter and I would have been with you. I'm a joyful mother of 4. Madi de che tande na chulge, zize che and Hadama. Those are my 2 sons and 2 daughters, and they have blessed me with many, many grandchildren and great-grandchildren. This time I've been away from them. My companion and I have been in this home, and yet we're not ever away from them. So I look out the windows and I'm watching the squirrels, getting ready to have their babies. I'm watching the grasses grow and the trees starting to blossom. I'm watching the eagles journey back to the north and the geese preparing their way to go up there. I'm seeing certain turtles starting to come. I'm hearing the call of the pileated woodpecker. And what strikes me the strongest is that we humans are so ego-bound that even though this crisis is going on all around us and our other 2-leg relatives are mourning and in pain and misery, the natural world continues. It is us who are out of balance. It is us who have forgotten to live within the natural sacred cycle of life and to honor all that is. And we have created this, I wouldn't say we've created this cycle, but we're in it. And what goes on is that scientists are now saying, oh goodness, the ozone layer is healing. Oh my goodness, the natural flow of the jet stream has returned. Geez, over those cities, you could see the sky now. Oh gosh, It's all what our spiritual leaders been telling us for generations. This time of purification will happen with our Mother, the Earth, our Father, the Sky, all the silent nations, and humans can decide to be a portion of this sacred dance of life in a good way or not. It's just that clear. Star Nation people are coming again. You know, my children, one was in Arkansas, grandchildren. My son Mikasi was up at our sacred grounds up north with his Uncle Leonard Crow Dog too, just left there. And all of a sudden there's what they call UFOs in the sky. We've seen these before. We don't find that unusual because, you know, I have this behind me as a reminder of many things, but one is that we came from the stars too. I heard those 7 sisters mentioned, those Pleiades and Ponca. You know, there was one star out there, the red star, that our Genesis comes from. And I'm reminded always that we must look to those stars that we return to for the beauty and the guidance to remind us of who we are. That each and every ceremony is one of gratitude for all of these sacred elements that is part of us and that we're part of. It reminded me yesterday in a phone call, and web. The word web keeps coming up with these webinars, with these various things, but that's the very web of life. The other things that continue to come to my mind is an old rhythm that a friend of mine found in a poem. Weave and mend, weave and mend, weave and mend. That's part of what we need to be doing now, reweaving this web of life through the very prayer and ceremony that we're all participating in constantly with every breath, with every step, with every sip of water, with every ingestion of this gift of food. I was very grateful to hear this young relative, Milo, yellow hair, talk about fasting again. Because as a sun dancer, as a person who participates in those sacred ways, we have fasted. Now it's my children and grandchildren for 4 days while we dance in the heat and pray to our Father, the Sun. We go without water, we go without food, so that we can not only pray for those things to always be there from now on, for the food itself, for its life, for the water itself, for her life, but for the ability for all the generations to come, all of our Ede, to be able to have food and have water. We go out. And when that thirst is in you, and the Father, Son is blessing you, and that hunger is in your belly, then you can really understand how to pray for them. How do you pray for the water unless you do without? Like so many of our relatives in those places, in the deserts, in the places where the extractive industry wreaks havoc on the sacred water itself, in the places where people have to walk for miles while we find it by walking into a room and turning on a faucet and it's pumped into there, whether she has the choice or not, whether she has given of herself freely the sacred water, or whether we are taking it just as we're taking the milk from our mother's breast. Would we go someplace and demand another mother give us her milk? No, that's disrespectful. So it's back to that way of respect. It's back to that way of rebalancing where we recognize that things have been wildly out of balance with the male energy being leaned on too much expecting too much. And so they have had to step in, they have had to take these, and there's certain ones that came across the waters that thought it was theirs to take anyway, through this thing that they invented, this religion that they adapted to, that said that there was a way that they could do a papal bull edict, and that way they could grab and diminish the women of power. Even in their own culture, they called them witches, and they made them go away. So we women folks, we're so blessed to assume the places of powers that our mothers and grandmothers and great grandmothers did at a time when all was in balance. The universe itself continues to be balanced. And here on our portion of the universe, on this tiny, incredibly sacred place that we are part of that rebalancing right now. We're those spiritual surfers on the crest of the wave, and we're holding each other up at the time that we're doing that. The one thing that has been occurring to me, though, with my friends that I was talking to, that we're also empaths. Is that how you say that, when you feel what others feel? So there's all of this panic around the earth. There's all of this pain. There's all of this mourning. There's all of this fear. And lots of that's coming inside us. So when we hold each other through prayer like we are today, we're sustained. But what about the others? How are they going to be helped through this time to be able to release that fear and reassume the balance? And when that new balance comes, how are we going to help them to be forward thinking and realize that simple things? I'm going to jump back in today's world. How are we going to rebalance those energy robbers, like those folks that are doing the pipelines and destroying the Mother Earth? How do we teach them? They have to understand there's only a few true powers. One is the Father, Son. Make your solar plants. Put those things, those machines that build the energy that way, instead of raping and killing our Mother Earth. How about those ones that dam up the waters, when we have been taught to flow like her and to be part of her and to honor her? How are we going to teach them? How are we going to say, now you see that this quickly, because of this thing that they call it a virus, this quickly the skies are clearing, the waters are clearing, the breath is better for everyone, everywhere. The jet stream's reestablishing itself. The Father Sky is healing. The Mother Earth is healing. How do we teach and understand beyond upholding one another, that if it can happen this quickly, what can we do in the long run together? It's exciting. I am so grateful to be part of you right now. I am so grateful for each and every song, each and every prayer. I'm living within them, and I'll carry them with me always.
Thank you, Grandma Casey, for your blessing, for your teachings. I'm also thinking of Alex Boonton, who is Yupik, who wanted to be with us. She's one of our delegation, and she came from the London meeting also. She had a already an engagement she couldn't change, and it was with our youth, native and non-native, that she's meeting with today about taking these teachings and moving forward. And I'm seeing that little ones have started to join us even on camera here. So I just want to take a moment and recognize the work with our youth and the next generations to come. Uncle, I am so glad to meet you this way. I've heard so many beautiful things about you and your beautiful land of Greenland. And I ask that you come and grace us with your wisdom today. Thank you. Uncle, before you start, I just want everybody that's on the call, I know we've run over our time with you, but what is coming through is inspired. And so I hope you can continue on with us until we close. We still have a few more of our relatives to hear from. Thank you, Uncle.
I'm so happy to be amongst you. My name is Ájnnak, and it means the man who looks like his uncle. And I was named after my father's older brother. His name is Kuyegi, which means the beloved one. But he was named after his uncle Ájnnak, who was named after his uncle Kuyegi. So in the end, I am pretty old. And that's why I look so old. I'm not so old, but I just look old. But I'm really happy. I'm from the top of the world, the biggest island on earth, called Greenland. The only land on earth where people live where there's never been war. And it happened to be the oldest crust of earth. So when you come and visit me, you will be walking on land where there's never been war. And it is the oldest energy of earth. So I look forward to that day you and I we can walk in peace amongst one another. Our beloved grandmother, her name is Erika, told us that life is a ceremony in itself, worthy celebrating with a ceremony, which means that yours and my life are worth celebrating every single day with a ceremony. And she says that when you and I will do the ceremony from our heart, just like anything else growing, a bud would be born within us. And that bud sooner or later would begin to open. And we call it a flower. And that flower would come to a full blossom. And when she does, there will be seeds in that full blossom. But because you and I will live on this earth, she says, winds of change will come upon us. And when that happens, the seed will be blown away. And the fascinating part of it is somewhere else another ceremony will be born. And that's what you and I, in the big world we live in, we have forgotten to celebrate life with a ceremony. Every single life on this earth, in the human world, in the animal world, in the plant world, in the mineral world, and all the elements we're surrounded by, is worth celebrating. And my grandmother says, when the ceremony loses its spirit, it becomes a ritual. And she was born in 1893, and she says, and life today is full of rituals. And when we ask her, what is a ritual? She says that you and I, we will begin to do things because that's the way it's being done. We don't question it, we just do it because that's the way it's being done. And it's so interesting as I travel in the world and I have worked in 72 countries, I realized that my grandmother was right. The world I traveled in has become full of rituals where few are celebrating life as being worthy of celebrating with a ceremony. She taught us that you and I, this is my instrument. Her name is Qilaud. which means an instrument from the great sky. She teaches us that in the east, where the sun rises, she's always yellow. And it's so interesting in my travels that I ran into people of the yellow race, most beautiful people. And then in the south, when sunshine highest upon us, she's always white. And in my travels, I really literally ran into white people. They are so beautiful. And in the west, where the sun sets, she's always red. And I am one of them, as you are. It's so beautiful. I have visited most of the native peoples in North America, in Caribbean and South America, and in the Far East, except for Australasia. And then in the north, it is always black, like night. And lo and behold, I ran into the black people. They are so beautiful. Imagine that you and I will come out of the yellow, the white, the red, and the black peoples. And then my grandmother says, the circle which has no beginning, no ending, in which we all belong. The beauty of the circle is that we cannot see each other's backs. And the strength of the circle is that we can only see each other's beauty. I always think about it when I travel and realize how beautiful people are, whatever race they come from, whatever tradition they come from, whatever language they speak, however they do their ceremonies. And my grandmother, as a little girl of about 10 years, and I grew up with this story, she said that she went to a big mountain, and I've been to that mountain. And she told us that when she got up there, she could see the world. And on my land, when you look north, you will see to the beginning of the curvature of the earth, which means that you're literally looking at a 450 kilometer distance. And then when you look to the south, you can see to the very beginning of the curvature of the earth, which means that you are looking at distance of about 900 kilometers. That's the length of Germany in Europe, that little country. That's how far you can see when you come to visit me on my land. And she said that there was one earth. And I found it so interesting that in my travels, I realized the same thing that I said, there was actually just one earth. And I found so beautiful that I was privileged to meet every single race of this earth. The yellow, the white, the red, and the black. I found it so incredibly beautiful. So that's my basis of reality. I just want to say a little prayer because I don't want to take people's time anymore. In my travels, I was a runner for the elders, which is an ancient tradition where somebody is sent to the next village on a dog sled, in a kayak, or walking to tell the next village that someone has passed on or someone else has been born and you have a new family member. Someone left you. So my parents made me a runner in June of 1975. I was a young kid. And I ran for my elders. When I go home back to Greenland, It was my responsibility to tell whom I met, what I saw, what I experienced, and what I heard. So those are 4 things I had to tell the elders. But then one day I got so tired of everything because no one ever changed. Because my responsibility to tell the world was that the big ice on my land is melting. No one listened to it. So I went home to my mother because my grandmother passed on, my father passed on, my other elders passed on, my mother was there. I told her that I quit my job. I don't want to do that anymore because no one ever changes. And it's so interesting. My mother, beautiful, beautiful woman, a mother of 8 children, and a grandmother of 36 grandchildren. She looked at me and then she said, you know, son, you're just going to have to learn to melt the ice in the heart of man. Only by melting the ice in the heart of man, man will have a chance to change and begin using his knowledge wisely. Needless to say, I did not quit my job as a runner. But amazingly, just in the last 6 months, I'm now the oldest one in the entire family of my grandmother. And it's because my great aunt just passed away, almost 93 years old. And it's so interesting that when I look back behind my back, there's no elders to ask. I have no one to ask. So now I'm going to have to learn somehow to become a better human being and attempt to keep up those amazing teachings I grew up with. My prayer is called melting the ice in your heart. I could use my instruments, but it would be too loud for this new technology. I don't know if you can hear. Oh, 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 oh,
Oh.
My dear new family, I look forward to one day to walk with you. and maybe one of you will be able to offer me a cup of coffee. Because where I come from, coffee does not grow. But where I have traveled where coffee grows, it's delicious. Much love to everybody.
Oh, thank you, Uncle. Thank you for your blessings. So we have about 3 more, Mindahi, and you have a message, I know, from the Mamos. And I think Eleonora has a message from the Mamos. And Mahish is closing, and Loretta is still bringing something to us. So I'm gonna, this is one of those moments where we're working with how does our original people's culture help us to learn how to live with time in a different way. And we're stretching ourselves right now because we're opening into almost 2.5 hours of this meditation. So Mindahi, do some magic with the time, if you will, so that everybody that's gathered can catch all of the amazing beauty that's come through this call today. Thank you, Mindahi, Peseta of the Otoma people.
With the permission of the Forest of Massachusetts and the all beings here, and in the name of Center for Earth Ethics and the support of the fountain, I see it, and the other organizations that have helped us and support us for many times. I'm going to share some words from the Otomi Toltec peoples because I'm from Central Mexico, from the highlands of Mexico, and I just want to tell you that we are in times of change. We're in times of the coronavirus. It's always been there, but now is the invisible is visible. It's not just about the individual now, it's about collective. It's always been, we need to remember what kind of creatures we are as humans, why we are here, what Mother Earth is telling us. What Mother Earth is telling us is what indigenous peoples have always tell you. Be in balance and recover the ancestral wisdom. Recover the ancestral calendars to live in peace and harmony. Not just live in peace among humans, but live in peace with our mother, live in peace with Mother Earth. So I'm going to change now to Spanish because I have this message from the Otomi Toltec peoples. Los contadores del tiempo toltecas sabían sobre el ciclo de 26,000 años de la precesión de equinoccios. Este es el tiempo que tarda nuestro planeta en alinearse nuevamente con las mismas estrellas del norte polar. Consisten en 5 ciclos de 5,200 años. Hoy acabamos de completar el 5º de estos ciclos, que para los toltecas se conocía como el 5º sol. El 5º sol estuvo compuesto por 10 ciclos de 520 años cada uno. El último ciclo comenzó en 1492 y terminó en el año de 2012. Los toltecas sabían que sería un momento de destrucción y degradación. Sabían que los últimos 52 años serían los peores, ya que para entonces cada aspecto de la creación estaría completamente erosionado. Sabían que a partir de 2012, año 1 pedernal, la Madre Tierra comenzaría un ciclo de limpieza de hasta 13 años en el año 1 casa, que es 2025. Ese ciclo se anunció como 4 movimiento porque se refiere a los 4 elementos que se mueven poderosamente juntos, lo cual significa que ocurren terremotos, incendios, huracanes e inundaciones. Como puede verse, no he mencionado a los humanos como agentes de esa destrucción y degradación, pero sabemos que estamos participando en los ciclos de la Madre Tierra. En efecto, la destrucción que comenzó en este continente de las Américas en 1492 condujo a una degradación de las tradiciones bioculturales ejercidas por civilizaciones que habían optado por dejar de respetar y relacionarse con los ciclos de la vida. Estas civilizaciones pensaron que su propósito en la vida era lograr la salvación y que no importaba matar, destruir o extraer, si al hacerlo se aseguraban un lugar en el cielo. Pero ahora que han contaminado su propia agua, su propio aire, su propia tierra y su propio fuego, ahora que han contaminado sus propios cuerpos, sus propios órganos, sus propias células y sus propios genes, se están desmoronando como civilización. La Madre Tierra continuará tratando y transitando por su proceso de limpieza. Aquellos de nosotros que hemos mantenido el estilo de vida tolteca, nos hemos estado preparando durante mucho tiempo. Hemos mantenido nuestros sistemas medicinales, alimentarios, nuestros sitios sagrados y nuestros calendarios sagrados. Estamos acompañando a la Madre Tierra en su proceso de purificación, con grandísimo respeto, reconociendo que este es su momento y estamos prestando mucha atención a todo lo que está aconteciendo durante estos 13 años. Estamos compartiendo lo que ella está comunicando a todos y todas. Quien esté listo para escuchar y asimilar, con sabiduría y humildad, habrá que hacer, cómo comportarse y qué cambiar en su forma de vida. Todos tenemos la oportunidad de elevarnos a un nuevo nivel de conciencia, con una actitud y un compromiso renovado de vivir con la Madre Tierra. At the end of the day, we are keeping our traditions and living with Mother Earth, not from Mother Earth. At the end of the day, we are here not to be stewards, not to be as stewards of the Mother, of the earth, of nature, but to be caretakers and caregivers of life. We need to recover dignity and peace as human beings. We need to come back and go back to the original instructions and to behave in a proper way. This is the time of transition, and this is the time of change. It's not going to be the same again. We need to be prepared. Poke kamadi, moshingen tine kwada, dine kyonkeki. Love for you and be blessed.
Yumendahi, is your beautiful daughter there with you?
Yes, she's here.
Would she like to bring anything forward? I know she's doing some remarkable work of leading social activism to stand up for the earth, and you have such wisdom living in you. So welcome, Shea.
Hi, we're just gonna put down the blinds because it's really bright. All the way down. Okay. Hi everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I've been listening to everything that has been said, and it's so inspiring to see that people from all over the world are connecting heart, mind, body, and soul to be in connection with all of us in these difficult times. And I just want to say that in terms of youth, what I have seen is that a lot of us are treating this crisis like we want the crisis of climate change to be treated, which means we're treating it with respect, and we are treating it with, you know, proactiveness rather than reactiveness, which is what we would like to see from the world with other crises. So I thank all of you for all the wisdom that has been put forward. And what I want to say is that everything happens for a reason. And I am sure that many of you live by that as well. And I think that this crisis is an opportunity. Every crisis presents an opportunity to us. And this one presents the opportunity to have solidarity for each other, to learn what true solidarity means, to learn how my actions impact you, to learn how my actions impact, you know, myself, my family, my community, people from across the world. So I think that this is teaching us how to have more solidarity and be more grounded in agency, and to really see how your actions can really impact the world, but how it's, you know, helpful to be in communication and just align our spirits with each other in order to overcome these types of crises. So I am seeing a lot of that mindfulness come forward, and I am here with my dad, and he's just such an inspiration for me because he always keeps me grounded and reminds me how important it is to listen to our ancestors. And I just want to mention that for Earth Day, the youth are planning a massive digital strike because obviously we cannot go outside. And I started this campaign called We the Planet, because it's not we the people, it is we the planet. And that is how we have to think about things when we really want to take a holistic approach. So if anybody would like to know more about it, you can contact my dad and then he'll get you in contact with me. But I just want to thank you all so much for your time, your energy, and your presence. Kennedy.
Thank you so much. It's always good to hear what you have to say. You touch this old grandma's heart. Thank you. So Mindahi, do you have a message from Mama Manuel?
Yes, I have the message. I have the message, and also just to let you know, it's been difficult for the communities in Sierra Nevada and Santa Marta with the Kogi, the Wiwas, the Cancamos, and Arhuacos. They have been secluded. Nobody can go out, nobody can go in. Because as you know, in the communities, we live all together. If one gets contaminated, all community is going to suffer. So Mama Manuel is the Kogi spiritual leader there in the Sierra Nevada, and he passed through Narciso, his son, the following message. And the message is that this time is a critical time that we need to act in a collective way, that we need to learn from our past, because the future is in the past. The future is in the past, meaning that we need to recover the original instructions, the way to be, and the way to act. So the message is to think and act beautifully. Feel beautifully is important, and more important is to think beautifully. But all together, coming together, because we are in a process of unification. And it's important to carry out pilgrimages, it's important to carry out fastings. And I'm glad with my brothers that also mentioned the fasting process, because it's how we can pay back in reciprocity with Mother Earth. So the coronavirus, as he knows, the presence of the coronavirus is creating so much, lifting up consciousness, because the invisible now is visible. And more important is that climate change, because our mother has fever. Climate change is going to produce more deaths, than the coronavirus. If we don't act institutionally, in community, if we don't act together, everybody's called to act in such a beautiful way that we can create. Because humans, we are the problem. But humans, we can also push for this balance, for this health. So I have another message from Mamo Gil Arhuaco, but I like, if possible, Eleonora can read that message, because I sent it to her, the message, and she got it. So thank you very much, and blessings from the heart of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, blessings from the Kogi peoples, and they are working so much. And just to let you know that they are working so much that they are praying every day, every single day. And they are praying for human beings because they know that we are the problem. Thank you so much. Kama di mo shingentini, dine kyonkiki. Thank you so much from the heart.
Thank you. Eleonora?
Thank you. Thank you, Mendahi. Whoa. So we're gonna do it through that one.
There are 4 original peoples of the La Sierra Nevadas of Colombia. They are in the Kogi and the Arhuaca are 2 of those 4 that have sent messages to our circle today. I give great thanks for that. So Eleonora, I hope you're able to fix your sound so you can join us. Okay, I'm going to come back then to that, if that's okay with you, Mendahi. That'll give our time to do that. I'm just worried now about our time coming to a close and wanting to be respectful of everyone's time. They've been so patient sitting on our call with us, both here in this delegation, but also those that have gathered to be with us. Sahil, I know that you've asked to sit in silence today. That's my understanding. And to really, you're gathering everything so that you can take this message back to the Idumismi out because they're so far in country, and that you'll come back to our next call, I hope, with a message from them, if that's possible, so that we can include their wisdom as part of our delegation. So thank you for getting up so early, for holding and catching all of this, so that you can be the link that you are. Thank you so much. Eleonora?
Yes. So Mamo Dravika, who is, or Arhuaco Mamo, happened to be the same Mamo who sent the message to Mendahi. So it's the same message. It's a big, big, long message that I just received in Spanish. But what I know is that he is with us and they're holding divination today. So today they have a big meeting and they're sitting and they're holding us in this circle as well. And he was just saying how important it is to be in our hearts and to not let this fear go far away and eat us up. He was explaining how everything has a message and everyone is a messenger, and that this virus and these bacteria are kind of older brothers in a way. So we need to learn how to walk with them, and so the understanding of them eating up the virus, the understanding of them making them part of the universe and eating it, and so yeah, they are in quarantine as well up there, and he was just sending love, and he knows that these platforms are going out now, so they are happy to share their love and the care and the message out in the world. And yeah, the message is very long, but the resume is that we should not buy into the fear. We should just take care of each other and know that this holders of the wisdom and the guardians of the sacred places and the sacred knowledge that are being trained in this are doing the work and are doing what they are trained for, and we can all help by not buying into any fear. So that's it.
Thank you, Eleanor. And you might want to, when she translates it, we can get it put up on the fountain.earth website, so people then can go there to read that in more of its entirety. I want to honor them that way. So thank you. Mahish from the Vishnoi people of India. You got up very, very early and you waited a very long time to sit here with us before my sister Loretta will come to lend her last prayer and instruction before our Sami relatives close thing. So I thank you for holding circle with us, for all of you holding circle with us, so we could really take the time it needs to plant a deep seed to water hope. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You listening me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, all my beautiful brothers and sisters. And thank you so much for coronavirus to give us chance to self-realization. Otherwise, most of the time we just run our daily life. And now we are at home. Thank you so much all to give your patience and give your precious time for this beautiful moment. We all are together here now. And I just request this is message and heart wish. We can't give anything return to Mother Earth. We have only thing. We give our peace, love, and please plant a tree today. Just one tree, save our life, save our children's life. Thank you so much all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mahis. So, Sister Loretta, going to ask you if you'll close this door today before our Sami close it in the traditional way.
You hawo pila tranka chichapi mitakuya pi. Leon petuki ishe opchegela takume prinkte okraina. Yuashi tu ya prinkte. Misunkala le chala woni chakap chahena na kumpino. Olohan ni jahiapi. So, because we have some young people in our circle here, I want to just leave them with the thought that they are well educated, they have parents, they have all the makings and the way that they live today. We wish that we could have had that for all of our children, so that these last 2 generations back, we've had a hard time. So we now have an opportunity to change that. So we have to do whatever we can, but it is a challenge to give that perhaps getting educated about all the knowledge about principles, what guides our people. So say for instance, and I consider myself Oglala in the Ocheti Shakoe, which is the 7 fighter places of my people. We overall have one called Pte Oyate, which means the buffalo people. And within that context of it, the white buffalo calf woman came and brought us some sacred rites that we have to abide by. And within those are the principles by which we are guided. We have Nori Gluhapi, which is keeping of the soul. We lose a loved one. We keep their hair from the top of their head here, where there's a soft spot when we're born. That's the most sacred place on our body. So you take hair from there. You keep it in a bundle, put it in to the north of your house, and you walk with that for a year. Some will do it for 4 years. And then you pay homage to it. You let that person, that loved one, go. They say that what hurts your eyes, your body emotes, your eyes cry, you can't hardly hear, your throat hurts, and you can't hardly talk. So when all that settles down, we say it takes between 7 months to a year for that body to settle. So from that time on, you can take a deep breath again. Another one of those is the Inipi, our rite of purification. We have sweat lodges, we call it Inipi, and in there you go in, you open up your whole body, all the pores, all your little pores, sweat out all your toxins. Wouldn't it be nice if we could do that and practice that every day? Humlecheapi, crying for a vision. We want to know our place in the world. Visions guide our people and how we're going to make those decisions. We rely on great dreams. The dreamers of our people, they need to be paid attention to. If somebody tells these old people, I had a dream, then these old people can tell you what it means. Liwang Wachipi, the sun dance. It's the most sacred of our 7 sacred ceremonies of my people, the Oglala. It's when you go out and you fast. Sister Casey talked about fasting for 4 days and 4 nights. My brother Milo talked about fasting for 4 days and 4 nights. So I want to reinforce that. It's hard. It's hard. You can maybe go without food for 4 days, but to go without water for 4 days, that's hard to do. Try it. Challenge yourselves. Kunkayapi. Kunka. Making of relatives. You can go. You can wipe somebody's tears and make them your relative. You can go. Somebody who's been orphaned, you can take them and love them, make them your relative. Ishna tipi or awi chalawampi. Okay, so what this stands for is when the young women have their menses, their moon times, they go out, they're put out, and our tribes back in the beginning, they read those young women going out to be together in their menses time, their moon time. And they knew that when they came back in, it's 28 days they have to do what has to be done so that the tribes survive. So we're like a calendar. You can read what's going to happen by just following the moon cycles of the women. That's how important our young women present. That toss the ball. We have the ball becomes the earth. And we have a ceremony where it's the woman's ceremony. She tosses that ball to all the people. And whoever receives it, it behooves them to do that same ceremony for their people. So it chain reactions. And when something's that good and that powerful, that woman receiving her medicine as being a caretaker for this world, that she owns everything in this world. So it stands to reason that when you talk about creation story, there's a male entity called Shka. Shka translates to sacred movement. Everything in life moves, the great vibration. That's what Shka means. The female is Wopre or Wopre. And what that translates to is female law. It's mother law. So these two, they guide us along. So all of these principles by which we come to be in our lives, I want to share that with these young people so that when they look at their tribal backgrounds, they're going to say, what are our principles? How can we guide ourselves? Know them, understand them, make them a part of yourself every day. In my going into my 73rd year now, I've come this far. I've sundanced. I've done all of these 7 sacred ceremonies. I didn't do the keeping of the soul till my mom and my dad left. So now I'm a member of that sacred society known as Wablenicha. And what that means is Wa is everything living and beautiful in the world. Ble is that beautiful, pure spring water that flows from the top of the mountain that waters us, the fresh water coming. So our mothers and fathers, when we have them, this is what they give to us. They provide everything for us. And here it's Nicha. Nicha means we don't have it anymore. Well, Blinicha. So today, those are who your elders are. We have the experience of life. We have the things that we have about us because we follow these principles. We have the language. We have the ceremonies. We practice all of these. Even when people used to make fun of us for talking our language, we didn't care. We loved who we were. Let's get back to that. I wanted to share that with these young people because it's wonderful. They talk so beautifully. I want to encourage them. So maybe the challenge is look at all of us. Maybe there's a book of peace to be written by taking all of our principles and putting them in book form. My mother told us, she said that there are handprints on rocks, petroglyphs all over the world. And that handprint it's a very primitive mark. But if you connect all those handprints from around the world like that, she said, it shows that we are a people of peace. And every nation on earth calls themselves the original people, the people of peace, the people. We all call ourselves that. And my mother told us, she said, when you go and you talk with people, she said, the only place, even though we have all the beautiful colors of man, the black, the red, the yellow, and the white, she said, the place that our people are all the same color is right here on our palm. You can all sit next to each other and put your palms together, she said, and you're going to find no matter who it is you're sitting by, you're the same color with them there. And so I want to give that to these young people that are on this call today to use it. Go out and find that experience for yourself. Because until you experience something, you can't speak to it. So I give you that now. Use it, take this challenge, and go and start looking at your backgrounds. So I wanted to say that much because as people of the world, we have stability in knowing those principles and sharing and being able to do those principles, to stand with those principles, to be who we are as Native people. Today, this illness that we have, I called a medicine man up and he said, the best thing I can tell you, he said, we have all the power in that sacred tree that we sundance with. He said, take a branch of a chokecherry tree or a willow tree or whatever tree is next to you, whatever tree branch you could get, make it 14 inches long, cut it, wrap a red cloth around it. As you're doing this, you ask for blessings and prayer and good health. And then you make 28 green tobacco ties and you wrap it around that stake with the green, red cloth on it. You wrap it over the top of it. And then you go and you put it in your house. And he said, and have the thought, because when you have intention, you have faith, you know it's going to be that way. So you say Thanksgiving right away. Those 4 things, intention, prayer, faith, and Thanksgiving. Make those principles, make those things in your life to hold them. You put that in your house. He said that illness is not going to come in. It's not going to come into your home. And when you have to go out, you're not going to get any of it on you. So I just share that with you. The medicine man told us, share it with whoever wants to use it, he said. And when you're done with it, when everything is done, make a fire again. Put that in there as your Thanksgiving. Let it burn up and say your Thanksgiving prayer. So I want to just leave you all that way. And thank you all so much for being on this call. I love to see everybody's face. And I'm so happy that my younger brothers, our tribal council representative, our leaders, they joined us on this. This is the first time that that's happened. And here is a platform. When they told us about the keeping of the soul, the white buffalo cap woman brought us a pipe and she brought us a round stone. And these two go together with these ceremonies. And when we stepped into that diversity summit, Flourishing Diversity Summit, Arena Rose came up to me and she gave me a black stone written with, it has carved in it some miry sacred symbol. And she told me, I'm going to give this to you. She said, you take it back to your people and you pray with it. And when we have these meetings, you're going to bring this stone. And she said, share it with your people. And then when you get the Black Hills of South Dakota back into your stewardship, you're going to bury this stone in the heart of those Black Hills. And I believe it. I believe it like that. So hopefully We don't have to wait for another 73 years before this can happen. I see the result here today, this prayer that my sister, told us about. My sister Doti, she's trying to keep us all together. Everybody's coming in and we're all becoming a part of the one prayer. So I give it to you like that. All my relatives, thank you.
Thank you, sis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you, each and every one of you, those that are still out there holding on with us, the delegates that are still here. It's a strong prayer, and inside of it, so many seeds to help us come back to our remembering. And now, Sara, you have a York that's going to just really close our ceremony today, I'm sure, in a way that's going to help us keep it safe. Thank you.
Sara Ájnnak. Good evening, everybody. It's evening here. Today, I have been out with my family in the forest because we are reindeer herders. And I was looking around and I was standing close to a tree. And my message is that the virus and that it's coming right now, it's not a coincidence. Because we go to spring and it's the time of rebirth. And that's how everything is connected now. There's a new time coming and the virus is coming in the spring, and the spring is the time of rebirth. And it's also important for everybody of us to still have faith, because even what will happen, what will come up next, new reindeer calves will come, and there will be new leaves on the trees, and the snow in the north will melt away, and the grass will also come up. So it's my message to you, and I will end this session from me with a yoik.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, one and all. I'll meet you in your dreams, my dreams, our dreams, Mother Earth's dreams, so we can keep bringing the way of the new dream, as some of my elders are talking about it. Until May 2nd, when I will be back in touch with you way before May 2nd, but we will let you know about the next call. I give great thanks. I give great thanks. I give great thanks. Be the peace you've been praying for. Bye-bye.